All right, James Floyd here. I'm here with James Arnold Taylor, the voice of Obi-Wan on the Clone Wars. What are you doing here in San Diego today?
Well, we are here for a very special presentation with the USO for our troops to show a couple of episodes of Star Wars The Clone Wars, in which, of course, as you mentioned, I play Obi-Wan Kenobi and Master Plo Koon on the show. And it's so great because we actually get to bring the voice actors out, as well as our supervising director, Dave Filoni, and Carrie Silver, our producer, and talk to them about the process of making the show, but the fun we have, but also just as a thank you to them for all that they do for us. The very smallest thing we can do is at least come out, shake some hands, sign some autographs, and show some very cool episodes, one of which has not even aired yet.
All
So
right.
that's really kind of the
And
coolest thing.
that's tomorrow's episode, Eminence.
That's correct. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah,
And
that's right.
that's going to have Darth Maul meeting Death Watch. Is Obi-Wan going to pop into that?
You know, Obi-Wan, there it's an arc. So we're doing, I think, three or four different episodes in it. Obi-Wan is not in this particular one, but
It's building up.
yes. I sense he'll be here there soon. Yes.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, when I came in, there was already a big line of servicemen and women with their kids outside,
Oh,
all
excellent.
all geared up for Star Wars.
Yeah.
This is your second or third time working for the USO on a
Yeah,
tour?
yeah, and actually, I'm going to be. I've done several shows, locally, and
Hmm.
then one tour, and I'm going on another tour this March, and I'm really looking forward to that.
And where are you going in
Going
March?
to go to Okinawa, and also I think to Japan as well, at some other bases, and so I'll be bringing my show. I have a one-man stage show called Talking to Myself,
Hmm.
where I talk about my life as a voice actor, being the voice of characters like Obi-Wan and Johnny Test, who's 11 years old and totally awesome, and Yabba Dabba Doo, Fred Flintstone, and then all the various voices I do for video games and TV and film, and my life as a voice actor. So hopefully to just bring some entertainment and some family-friendly fun to all of them as a way of saying thank you, because though I get to do all this on a daily basis, I also fully acknowledge the fact that without the freedoms that I've been given through all of our military and all, I'm humbled by it, and I'm so grateful for it. So this is my chance to maybe at least say thank you.
And do you have any connection military in your family or friends? Or?
I do not. My good friend Gary Sinise is actually the one that hooked me up with the USO,
Oh, cool.
and so I've just always been very passionate about the fact that the acknowledgement again of the sacrifice that men and women make in this country to serve their country, and I'm humbled by it, and so I love being able to come out and see how it all happened.
Yeah.
Going out there and seeing everything was just amazing.
And this is a great opportunity in San Diego because not only do you get the troops, you also have their families coming with them. And what's better than hanging out together as a family and watching Star Wars?
Right? Yeah. Yeah, I think that you're absolutely right. Star Wars is certainly a story that has lasted through the years, but it's also something that is about family. Most people watch Clone Wars as a family. They hang out and do it together, and I think that it's awesome that we can bring it here today. Yeah.
So with season 5 halfway through, you've been in some big arcs where you were with Anakin, or Obi-Wan was with Anakin and
Yeah.
Ahsoka on the planet, sort of fermenting a little guerrilla war action.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about being caught up in that?
Well, it's always one of those things where there's several elements to that, because one is whenever we go in to do these episodes, it's always fun to bring in that aspect of Anakin and Obi-Wan and where they're going. Now, of course, my Obi-Wan Kenobi doesn't know anything about the Revenge of the Sith,
Hmm.
so I'm playing it from the point of view of Attack of the Clones and all. And any chance that Matt Lanter, who plays Anakin brilliantly, and I get to give each other bad time and be together as that kind of Butch and Sundance kind of crew. It's fun, let alone the fact that my favorite Jedi and one of my favorite characters of Star Wars, Ahsoka Tano, is there and brilliantly voiced by Ashley Eckstein. And it's really cool to see this character that was created for the TV show and the original film of the Clone Wars flourish into this character that is now her own thing. And whatever will happen to her, we don't know.
Right. And so, what growth do you think that Obi-Wan has had over the past couple seasons?
That's a great question. I think that Obi-Wan, it's a delicate balance with a character like this because he's in every movie. We know everything that we can know about Obi-Wan, right? But that's not necessarily true. We're seeing how he became who he is.
Hmm.
And there's always fun opportunities to take the character in new directions. And I've been really fortunate to be somebody that's actually voiced and performed more of Obi-Wan than any other actor. So I actually get to really take him into new directions. And we've seen like from the Duchess Satine, who may have a little cameo here and there in this season coming up. As far as you never know.
Well, they did highlight her quite a bit in that 100 episode teaser.
Yeah. Did we give it away a little there? Yeah. Getting to see those arcs of his life and where he is as a person and not just as a Jedi and not just as a master to Anakin and to Luke even. I think it's really cool.
That is really cool. That's one aspect that we don't often think of is Obi-Wan as a person, as an individual.
Yeah.
And he's stuck in the life of a Jedi just the same way that Anakin is stuck in that life, that he didn't choose it.
Right.
And sometimes, other options, he might get a glimpse of those other possibilities. So
yeah, I thought that was really telling and cool. It's a fine balance because Anakin is always very emotional and Obi-Wan is not supposed to be. And throughout the last season, Obi-Wan took quite a beating. And now with Darth Maul back, there's an emotional perspective to him that we've never really explored in the show and barely in the films. So it's great.
Yeah, I imagine that having vanquished Darth Maul back in Phantom Menace, and then only to find out he's back.
There he comes again, yes.
And even more badass than before.
His fake legs, so if I cut them off, you can just put new ones on again.
And
it's very annoying. Yeah, it's fun though.
And so going back, the season starter was Revival, which had Obi-Wan and A.D. Gallia go face off against Maul and his brother Savage Opress. That didn't work out really well for either side.
No, but we first aired that at Celebration in Florida this last year, and I was fortunate enough to be the host of that event, and we got to watch that and to hear the crowd cheer when Obi-Wan cut off Savage's arm and kind of got the one up on them for once. It was fun to see that the crowd was still rooting for the good guys.
Well, that's always good that our heroes get the love they deserve.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, what other voices have you done? You mentioned Plo Koon that you do frequently.
Yeah, on the show it's fun because we always get to be different little characters, little side characters here and there. Last season, I had some fun characters. We had Reiko Hardeen.
Oh yeah.
Who was Obi-Wan undercover, but I was fortunate enough to get to do both voices. So Hardeen was there, and Obi-Wan was here, and then I had to conform and change, transform that. But we had O.C. Sobek in the Citadel. And that was
one of my favorite arcs of last season.
Mine too. It was great, and it was fun because O.C. was a combination of Christopher Walken. You take Chris, and hoo-ha, you take a little Al Pacino and you combine them into O.C. Sobek, and he'll destroy the Jedi. So yeah, it's fun. Outside of Star Wars, I get to be Ratchet in the Ratchet and Clank video game series. Johnny Test, who I mentioned before, Dark Vegan, and Mr. Mittens, the voice that tells you what's coming up next on Animation Domination. And I've been Leonardo the Ninja Turtle, Fred Flintstone, and many others. So it's a charmed life being a voice actor. You get to be a lot of different characters in your little padded room.
So, Plo Koon is one of the favorite characters of director Dave Filoni.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have trouble doing Plo Koon just because that there's so much more pressure from Dave on that?
He's, we've fallen into a nice pocket with it, a level of comfort. Originally, when we did it, the direction was Gandalf. He wanted it to be very kind of Gandalf, Ian McKellen. So it starts, whenever I do Plo Koon, it starts right about here. And then they take it and they pitch it down and they process it. And Matthew Wood and David Acorn, the brilliant sound designers at Skywalker Sound, do that to it. But Plo Koon is one of those characters that is wiser than I could ever dream of being, and is just such a cool Jedi. And people say he died in Sith, but I'm not so certain about that. I mean,
his ship blew up.
We saw his ship blow up, but that doesn't mean anything, right?
Exactly.
So I don't know.
And Plo Koon has that relationship with Ahsoka that is very different from her master relationship with Anakin.
Yeah.
How do you get into that role a little bit of like you're sort of a mentor, but the hands-off mentor?
Yeah, that's true. And and Obi-Wan is a bit of that with her as well at times. But Plo Koon was the one that found her and really brought her to the Jedi Order, as the story goes from Master Filoni. And so there is a definite connection between the two of them. And I try to play that, and I love that most of the time when I'm voicing Plo, Ashley's there with me, and our scenes are together. That makes a big difference because as a cast, we record together, like the old radio plays.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of work, but it's also a lot of fun. And we get to goof off.
Well, speaking of goofing off, how far in advance are we working on season 6 and 7?
Man, I I don't know. I know we're into season 6. I think it's fair to say that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'll get in trouble for saying that. As far as any farther than that, I don't know where we'll go. I can have hopes, but it'll be interesting to see what happens in the Clone Wars and in our series, and with all these characters in the years to come.
All right. With what do you foresee? Or can you talk about Obi-Wan's future?
Well, I guess we know how it all ends for Obi-Wan, but
Yeah.
I think that we're probably in store for some more unexpected arcs in
Okay.
Obi-Wan and his character and his development. I certainly think that that's a fair thing to say, and that we will get to see other sides of Obi-Wan still.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you taking the
Hey,
time
thank
today.
you, James. Yeah, it's a
and
pleasure.
Thank you for coming to San Diego and supporting all of our military men and women and their
Yes.
families here in San Diego. You're wearing a cool T-shirt under there. Did we
Don't
do
you like that? I got that here. Yes,
It's a
we've
Clone
got the Clone
Wars.
Wars and we've got the USO. It's a brilliant combination, and the Force is strong here at Miramar indeed, and it will be with us all, always.
All right, thanks.